Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this emergency breaking live broadcast. Donald Trump is doing something crazy. Listen to this. What is one of the biggest problems that we have seen and have had in this country the last 4 years? Right? We've had the open border. We've got the fentanyl. We've got the economy, the wars. But as you all know, the Biden administration lost almost 400,000 babies. That's right. That is 400,000 babies, children have been trafficked, have been sold, have been lost. Well, Donald Trump he's already launched a full investigation into where are those children. About 60,000 children have been already found by the Trump administration in just 5 days, and he is investigating the government. The government is being investigated for these children. Now, listen to this. Here's how we know the government is behind this. Because under Joe Biden, 400,000 children went missing. Under Trump, in just 5 days, his administration found about 60 to 70,000 children, meaning the Biden administration, Mayorkas, Nancy Pelosi, this entire time, they knew where the babies are. They just let the babies suffer. They let them be abused, used, and who else will come? I'm a father of 4 daughters. I can't explain the anger that comes over me thinking about how Biden and Nancy and Mayorkas just let it happen. But let's get right into it. Please do me a favor. Smash that thumbs up button. Make sure that you are subscribed and leave me a comment. Where are you watching from? Now, let me show you this. Watch this. First things first, I want to show you this video.
Now, the second wave that Tom Homan, the borders are for Trump has told me about, and all of this will focus on those missing children, hundreds of thousands of them that we know. And that number has started to already come down, Emily, from 300,000. So they found about 75 to 80,000 of those kids already. If they can get the list of these guys, 4 full days in office for Trump, if they can get the list of where some of those kids have been, and they've been identifying it, since the election, going after them and trying to find those little ones, what in the world was Biden's administration doing? What was Secretary of Homeland Mayorkas doing when he said to the committees on Capitol Hill, we don't know where those kids are, I'll look into it? No, dude, you obviously had a better way to find them, and you didn't do your job. I can't believe they impeached him and didn't remove him. Now, the second wave that Tom Homan...
So listen to this. I remember watching that hearing. When Republican representatives were saying, where are the children? 400,000 children are missing. Where are they? He said, I don't know. We'll look into it. Trump's administration was able to find 70,000 children in just 5 days. 5 days. So what this tells me is the Biden administration knew the entire time where the children are. They knew who's in possession of these children. They knew what these babies are going through. They just didn't care. They cared. They cared about the money those kids were putting in their pockets. But that's just my opinion. Before I continue, ladies and gentlemen, a huge shout out. I got more to share with you. Just a quick 10-second shout out to the sponsor of today's live, and that is VERITY Metals. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Patriot family-owned gold, silver, and precious metals IRA firm. They protect your money, your IRAs, 401ks, cash and retirement plans, the constitutional way. Physical gold and silver, like this right here, 1 ounce American Silver Eagle. They'll give you free silver when you call them and tell them Vlad sent you. 480-717-9081. Links down below in the description. Again, don't forget to mention me to get free silver. Let's continue. A man today was arrested for this guy. No, here he is. For threatening to take out Donald Trump. This guy in Florida today was arrested by the FBI for wanting to unalive Donald Trump. I want to show you this. This is a breaking story that just came out. Breaking. President Trump's ICE will be conducting massive deportation raids in sanctuary cities of Los Angeles. The target operation will go 7 days a week, and many agents will be working overtime. Los Angeles officials have vowed to defy federal law. Who wants to bet they'll fold faster than laundry? Good. So a lot of breaking news is happening and has happened, and I'm going to cover several things, but we're going to stay on the topic of children, getting them, finding them, and protecting them. We're going to jump onto my Twitter page. So this is what Trump's deputy chief of staff had to say about the child trafficking. Listen to this.
We've seen, as you know, 500,000 children trafficked over a 4-year period in the United States. This administration is going to investigate every instance of child trafficking, labor trafficking, sex trafficking, child smuggling, and all the attendant crimes involved in that. And our message to everyone in the country is to cooperate fully with Immigration and Customs Enforcement so that we can end the scourge of child trafficking and child abuse that has been endemic these last 4 years. We've seen, as you know,
listen again,
500,000 children trafficked over
500,000 children trafficked. 500,000 children trafficked in 4 years. And as he is saying that the Trump administration is going to investigate all of it, whether it's sexual trafficking, work trafficking, body parts trafficking, whatever it is. He said, we are going to investigate them. But here's what I want to say. This is where the Democrats and the big government officials need to be scared. The crooks in the government that allowed this to happen, the ones that get a percentage cut from the cartels, the ones that at least knew this is happening and ignored it. Donald Trump needs to, what he needs to do is put a stop to it once and for all. Now, check this out. I want to move on to financial realm of what Donald Trump is doing. He held a rally today. In Las Vegas. That's right. I see that comment. Oprah run. Better run. Here's what he had to say about no tax on tips.
In the coming weeks, I'll be working with Congress to get a bill on my desk that cuts taxes for workers, families, small businesses, and very importantly, keeps my promise for a thing called, and I know you didn't hear anything about this, and I'm sure it had no influence on the state, the fact that we won this crazy, massive majority, a state that hadn't been won by a Republican in decades, but I'm sure you haven't heard, but we're going to get it for you. No tax on tips. No tax on tips. So if you're a restaurant worker, a server, a valet, a bellhop, a bartender, or one of my caddies, I go through caddies like candy. If I play badly, I always blame my caddy. Or any other worker who relies on tipped income, your tips will be 100% yours. Won't that be nice? Joe, Governor, do you think that nationwide over 4 million workers depend on tip income, including an estimated 700,000 single moms? And here in Nevada, we will have a quarter, think of it, a quarter of the typical restaurant worker's pay comes from tips. I didn't know that much. That's a lot. You haven't been reporting them for the last 10 years. So here's our deal. We're going to have no tax on tips from now on, but we're going to go after you viciously for all the money you didn't report for the last 10, 15. We're going to go after you for all the money you didn't report for. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. I have to say to the fake news because they're going to say Trump is after all restaurant workers.
Watch this. I want you to pay attention to Trump these last couple seconds.
I'm only kidding. I have to say to the fake news because they're going to say
Watch
Trump is after all.
Smile, his laugh.
Trump is after all restaurant workers.
Do you see how happy he is that now he, the election's over. He's back in the White House. He's running the country again. Not only that, look at the joy he's having. Now he's not campaigning. He's hanging out with his people. He's hanging out with his supporters. He's hanging out with his friends. When is the last time that you have seen a politician run, win, and go back and still do rallies? They don't do that. Once they win, they say, see you in 4 years. Or if you're a congressman or woman, see you in 2 years. But Trump, I can't think of anyone else. He's not there to campaign for anyone. He's actually there to say, I made a promise, no tax on tips. I won Nevada because I made that promise. I'm the first Republican to win Nevada in decades. So I'm coming back to do a rally, not to campaign or ask for anything, but to say thank you. And I'm going to fulfill my promise, no tax on tips. Usually when a politician wins an election, they say bye, they leave. No more rallies. They don't fulfill their promises. You can't get a hold of them. It's like, that's it. They're gone. Trump is the only politician in our lifetime who wins, comes back to just make sure that that he's fulfilling his promises, comes back to just hang out. That's it. He wasn't there campaigning for anyone. He wasn't there to ask for anything. He wasn't campaigning for himself. He spent a lot of money out of his own pocket to hold a rally in Las Vegas, to just stand on stage, have fun with the audience, and tell them, I made you a promise. I'm keeping it. No tax on tips. That is a president of the people. That right there is a president of we, the people. Let's move back a little bit. When it comes to the child trafficking, right, there's all these rumors and conspiracies about the government, and they're behind it. I believed it, but not to a big extent to where, what do you mean 80% of the federal government is involved with trafficking children? Or I never really believed it, but now I do 100%. I like that. MAGA man, I like that. Welcome to the Ice Age. Ooh, I should make a shirt design. Nice. Welcome to the Ice Age. And imagine a shirt. It's like Trump. He's got his cool glasses on, the dark MAGA hat. And it's like he handcuffed a couple of illegals and he's walking them out of the country. And it says, welcome to the Ice Age. Woo! Think about that. All right. I'm getting ahead of myself. But I was never huge into the conspiracies that our government's this big human trafficking business. I am now. Trump's administration comes in, takes the information that the Biden administration had this entire time, and using Biden administration knowledge and intel, they were able to find over 70,000 missing children in 5 days. Think about that. The entire time the Biden administration knew where these children are, what's happening to them, what's going on. And here comes Trump. It's just crazy. It's ridiculous to me. I don't know. I want to show you something real quick. Here we go. I'm going to show you something that Trump is doing. When Trump was in Vegas today, he also did this. Trump tells Vegas supporters he will terminate the 88,000 IRS agents, or maybe will move them to the border, meaning have them work at the border.
On day one, I immediately halted the hiring of any new IRS agents. They hired They hired or tried to hire 88,000 new workers to go after you, and we're in the process of developing a plan to either terminate all of them or maybe we'll move them to the border.
Right. That's right.
I think we're going to move them to the border. Well, they're allowed to carry guns. You know, they're so strong on guns, but these people are allowed to carry guns. So we'll probably.
Imagine the IRS agents who are only out to collect taxes are allowed to carry guns. What? But I love that Trump, you know, he already established an ERS and he's putting a whole team together, the ERS, External Revenue Service. No more robbing and stealing from your, again, it goes back to why Trump is the people's president. He's going back, he's doing rallies, seeking nothing, campaigning for no one, not even for himself. He goes back to Las Vegas, to Nevada, because no Republican has won Nevada in I think like 20 years. Trump wins it. And he comes back just to say, look, I'm the first Republican to win Nevada, and I believe it's because of my promise, no tax on tips. And I'm here to tell you, I'm doing it. I'm fulfilling my promise. And before I wrap this up, I want to show you this video. So Stephen A. Smith stuns Bill Maher crowd with brutal truth bomb on why Trump is the people's president. This is media, liberal media now. And they are admitting Trump is the people's president. Watch this.
Here's the deal. The man was impeached twice. He was convicted on 34 felony counts. And the American people still said, he's closer to normal than what we see.
Exactly.
Left. That's what they're saying. He's closer to normal. Why? Because something that pertains, when you talk about the transgender community, for example, and you're talking about the issues that pertain to less than 1% of the population, the Democratic Party came across as if that was a priority more so than the other issues. And so he comes into office. Now you're talking about childbirth, citizenship, and what have you. He knows that's not going to pass the mustard, but he knows that he made that promise. So when he shows up week one on Capitol Hill and he says, this is what we're going to do through an executive order, even though it's going to be shot down through the courts and what have you, he's saying, I kept my promise. A lot of other things that he's going to point to that he's going to try to do. I kept my promise. Then you turn around and you look at the left and you say, what promises did you keep? Now, you might know the answer to that. I'm certainly not questioning your knowledge about that at all. What I'm saying is what resonated with the voter. What voter out there can look at the Democratic Party at this moment in time and say, there's a voice for us, somebody that speaks for us, that goes up on Capitol Hill and fights the fights that we want them fighting on our behalf. They didn't do that. And that's why their behinds are home and that man is back into the White House. And they want to sit up there and talk. You look at the networks right now, they're talking about him. Look at it. This is the latest. Look at him. Here he goes again. Well, you know what here he goes again means? He's doing what he said he was going to do. He promised you he was going to do these things. And he walked into office week one, and that's exactly what he's doing. And he's saying, y'all do something about it. And when you try to do something about it, he's going to say, look at them now. Now they're concerned about these issues. Were they talking about that during the campaign? Hell no. That's really it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Boom. Boom. Beautifully stated. Beautifully said. That was beautifully said. That is why the Democrats are at home and Trump is in the White House. This is why many senators lost their spots, and Republicans took control of the Senate. This is why Republicans still have a majority, might be slim, but it's a majority in the House of Representatives. This is why Republicans in this election, the country moved more red. Every county, there's not a single district, county, or state that did not, by historic numbers, move to the right to Trump. Every red state that Trump won, he won it by historic numbers. And every state that he lost, of course, they had no voter ID, but every state that Trump lost, he lost it by historically low numbers. Yeah. Here's what I said before the election, before Trump's inauguration, and I'm going to say it now. If Trump does not 70% of everything he promised to do in these next 4 years, no Democrat will win the presidency in the next 7 elections. Because we had Obama, we had Trump, we had Biden, and Trump again. And people can just compare who keeps their promises, who forgets their promises the moment they're in power. And right now, I'm watching very closely the Trump administration, every executive order, every new policy. Between 4 to 7 months from now, we will see a significant change in our gas prices, in our food costs, in our grocery bills, our utility bills, everything, about 4 to 6, maybe 7 months. And I see Democrats on social media, Trump's been president. So listen to this, and I'm going to wrap up with this. This is the craziest thing I've seen on the internet. So leading up to the election, the Democrats said, Bidenomics is working. There's nothing bad. Everything's great. Bidenomics and everything's cheap. Whoa, yeah. But then Trump just won. And he won because he promised to lower gas prices, food prices, all that great stuff. He's been president for only 5 days. They're all complaining all over TikTok and everywhere. Oh, Trump's been president for 5 days. Everything's still so expensive. You know, there are two things that you're doing. Number one, you're showing how stupid you are. I mean, you want Trump to fix 4 years of Biden disaster in 4 days? Sorry, it's going to take a little bit more time, but he'll get it done. And two, you're admitting that Joe Biden caused inflation and everything is really expensive because of the previous administration. That's all you're doing. You're just showing how dumb you are, but you're also admitting that we were right all along when we were saying Bidenomics does not work. Bidenomics is destroying the country. Bidenomics is destroying the economy. So the same Democrats that were screaming Bidenomics works are now screaming Trump's been president for 5 days and everything's still expensive. You can't, I mean, you can't fix stupid. You can pray for a stupid person and maybe somehow something happens. But we'll see. Ooh, one last story just broke. I want to show you this. This would be really cool. One last story and we're done. House Republicans reintroduce bill to rename Washington Dulles Airport to Donald Trump International Airport. That would be so awesome.
Dulles Airport could have a brand new name. House Republicans are reintroducing a bill to rename it Donald J. Trump International Airport. A North Carolina congressman says 2 airports servicing the nation's capital should duly honor 2 of the best presidents.
That right there would be awesome. I love it. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you. I love you. Keep me in your prayers. I'm working as hard as I can to bring you guys the best news. I know I don't have the best equipment. I know I talk with my hands a lot. I know that I make mistakes sometimes, but I genuinely try to bring you guys the latest up-to-date news that I can. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for everything. Again, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so you're notified every time I upload. I love you guys. See you soon. And you know what it is, MAGA country.